miteinander. Welcome to our first Wealth Talk here in Zurich. My name is Silvan, I'm head of sales at WealthArc, and I'm your host today. So we are very excited to start our new setup with Wealth Talks. We came up with this idea actually just a few weeks ago, and we thought we have grown our customer base, our partner base so dramatically in the last few months. So why don't we bring together all these smart people that are here today, and let's gather some knowledge, let's share with each other how to challenge the new years to come up and the new decades. So I'm very happy that you are all here today. I think it's mainly about new possibilities, not about regulation, but mainly possibilities that are coming up, new technologies. So how can we challenge the upcoming years? What's very important, I think, is that we have already for the first time, we have a lot of interesting speakers here today. You will see them later on, some clients and some very important partners of ours. So maybe we will not yet fly with cars to our clients, but maybe there will be a hologram in the living room of your clients or anything close to that. So it's going to be very exciting times, and I'm looking forward to that, to go into this new technology with you. So I will already present the first speaker today. It will be Marco Althaus. He's from Digital and Innovation Strategy from e.foresight, which is a think tank from Swisscom.
Click here, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. So just to confirm, so we are part of Swisscom, but we are independent think tank. We have Chinese walls with Swisscom as well. So don't be worried. So who are we? We work with 23 banks at the moment in Switzerland. We do all the trend scouting for them. We look with them in terms of digital innovation, what's happening abroad, and how to adapt that to Switzerland. And you see it's primarily from the retail segment, but we're now moving more and more into wealth management as well. So what do? We kind of screen all the news that are happening around the world. We go to the conferences, we talk with the ecosystem in Switzerland and abroad to see what are the big changes in the banking sector or in the financial sector overall. And we compile that down into regular outputs. So we have a weekly newsletter with the most important news. We have periodicals. These are regular quarterly outputs. And we do 2 reports a week where we look at specific topics and present them to our clients. These are like 6 to 8 page reports. And we do certain studies every year. For example, we now did the and mobile banking study for the retail banks, and we did the robo-advice study for the wealth management sector. And we also do individuals consulting, so all our clients can use days they have with us to do deep dives on certain topics, general topics or specific, more closely aligned to the business. So just because you're big doesn't save you. That's our first wake-up call. So a large number of the Fortune 500 in the last 60 years have already been swept away by the changes that are happening in the market. So we've seen that already in the music industry, the books industry, they have been heavily disrupted. The banking sector has been shaking a little bit over the last few years, and everyone is waiting for the big bang. Hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. We still believe at one point there's a critical mass of change happening, and the banks will be in more trouble. So, and this also applies to the financial sector as a whole. So, and this does not only apply to banks, but we usually take the banks as a subject. So they basically have a few options to how to deal with those changes. They can do nothing and they can just decline. They can digitize operations and interfaces, so just do the normal projects, digital projects that they all do, and they basically stagnate. Or they can start to actually do some innovation and find new pockets of business where they can actually grow. And there they can do incremental innovation, which gives them some growth, but is not yet the big story. So to really grow and to really exponentially grow, you need to find new business model and to reinvent your business and adapt to the changing needs in the market space. So as I said before, just digital transformation or digital projects, digital transformation alone doesn't help you fully. There are certain factors around you that influence your business. We have the macro and micro factors. As you all know, the cost and the margin pressure is growing rapidly in the financial sector. We have the regulation, which is only increasing, or the big storm is still ongoing. The interest rate environment is still tough and is not looking to change anytime soon. And of course, the Swiss franc and the market size here as well. Then, but on the demand side or the customer side, we see changes as well. Customers are more emancipated. They know what they want from their financial partners. They expect, they have higher demands. They expect lower costs, more transparency. They expect mobile first. We've seen that already in the retail sector, but we expect this to come more and more also in the wealth management sector. And the loyalty overall is decreasing. So people are more quick to change. They have higher demands, and if they're not met, they will go away. Then the competitive environment is getting more difficult as well. We have neobanks on the retail side coming into the sector. We have startups that do, for example, robo-advice that take a lot of wealth management attention away, especially for the lower sizes of clients. And the internet companies are also not sleeping. They, or the tech giants, they start to address more and more of the financial sector and financial products as well. And they do that just nonchalantly on the side and don't do big startups. They just offer financial products as part of their offering. And independent advisors are growing more strong because now we have tools that allow them to be more, they can do more as independent advisors, and they don't need to be part of a big company anymore. And of course, the technology side is also changing. We have emerging topics, and everyone knows those. We picked the most popular ones: AI, cloud, and blockchain. I'm not here to tell you that blockchain will revolutionize your business. I don't think that's the case yet, if ever. But AI and cloud are very concrete topics that are starting to really gain traction now and are of high importance. But overall, the complexity of those technologies is only increasing. So you need to work with partners who understand that, who can abstract from that complexity. At the same time, clients are more likely to switch. That's from the EY Wealth Management report, where you see we're not, or the Swiss clients are not as switching happy as the European ones, but many, and 22%, for example, of Swiss clients would consider switching to an EAM in the future. And who's losing? Mainly the retail banks. And 51% of all the wealth management clients in Switzerland think about switching their provider for financial services. What we also see is a change in the pricing models or the expectations for pricing models. The traditional AUM-based percentage model is slowly disappearing. We don't think it's disappearing tomorrow completely, but we see there's a lot of movement towards fixed fee or performance-based models. And we saw that already in the US very specifically, where all the big robo-advisors switched to a fixed fee and hourly charged model and going away from the percentage-based model, which in the increasing transparency demands of clients is not seen as fair anymore. So to pick out the two technology-focused topics, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but one of them is artificial intelligence, which is basically a function of processing power, data, and algorithms. And we see there in all three parts that we are at the critical mass now. So the processing power is now big enough that it can actually handle the amount of data. On the other hand, the data that we collect is increasing, and now it's a question of getting insights out of it. And the algorithms to do that are also being developed very heavily. It's a very interesting market for the research segment. You can make a lot of money if you're an AI specialist. So the algorithms that are getting developed are increasingly more sophisticated. But when we talk about AI in practice, at the moment it's still very basic. So we're basically talking about data analytics mostly, and it's small increments. But if we actually hit the critical mass there, the growth will be more exponential, because then we can really gain more sophisticated AI help. So to understand your clients better than you could as a person, because you can take so much data together, and to be proactive in the interaction with your clients. But we're not there yet. And when people talk about AI, it's an illusion to think of general AI that can do everything. We're still baby steps, but it's increasingly getting more sophisticated. And I will not talk too much into detail about cloud banking because we have a more in-depth presentation after. But what we see is that now, even in Switzerland, the cloud has arrived and financial firms are now ready to go onto the cloud. And while the growth has slowed down overall, it's still going strong and still more and more companies are moving to the cloud. And the cloud is getting more sophisticated. It's not just a data center somewhere else, but you can get actually some extra benefits out of it as well that caters to your specific needs. I think that's it. Thank you very much.